From the East Coast, gateway to the fifth dimension, this is Interstellar Radio with Ivan Teller.
All right, greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast. We have a guest for tonight, so this is the theory of everything, going to the paranormal, alien connections. Today's date is July 29th, 2018. So for those of you that are ready for unknown experiences, think you know it all, well, we're about to add to your catalog of knowledge with our guest for tonight. Okay, Henry, are you there?
Hey, Ivan, how are you?
Greetings. All right, thank you for joining us for tonight's episode. And
thank you
for tonight, thank you. Okay, you like to, you said you have a lot of connections with the Bible Belt. Would like to give us your input or your experiences, if you like.
Oh, goodness, it's, where to begin. Growing up, religion is something that's very strong in the area where I live. And, it's something that's an important part of everyone's life. But what a lot of people don't know, and until they become awakened, is that, there's a lot of manipulation that goes on in our churches. And it doesn't matter what denomination it is. Once you become awakened, the ones who are manipulating and this is, the truth and the final, and if you don't believe it and the experience, you will go to damnation. I'm here to tell you that's not true. And once you become awakened, these entities that are doing the religious control here, they will attack you. And they will follow you and just give you, havoc in your life because, they want you to be uniform with everything that you do in your daily life in the 3D aspect of things. But I'm here to tell you that, not just what Ivan has been telling you, but, you can get away from it. Now, there's something important, too, that I want to say that, we're all here for a mission. And I would, probably say that, probably 95% of the people that are here on this planet have been incarnated here for a purpose and a reason. And, we have a mission. And, some of our experiences, a lot of people that go to church, they come here to have a connection to go to church. It's not all bad about, having religion in your life, because it doesn't matter if it's Hindu or Buddhist or, Muslim or Christianity or Jewish, no matter what your denomination might be, as long, if you're, good practical knowledge and good everyday teachings come from these different denominations. But there's so much that's been left out that we need to explore, we need to find, because it will make everything complete for our, spiritual awakening. And when you get all that information that's been taken out of our everyday teachings and you put it with, what we know today is, mainstream religion, then it's going to point to the direction of spiritual awakening and spiritual consciousness. Ivan, would you like to add anything? Or?
Yes. Well, you said you had experiences around the corridor, you said, in Tennessee?
Yeah. It's a section of the Bible Belt. I've been through this, section of the eastern part of the state, and that section is, part of the Bible Belt. It's very strong. And give you an example, anybody that's been through here, you can travel a couple miles, and here's a church, and go 5 or 6 miles down the road, and here's another church. It's that deep. It's that infested with churches. And it's not to say, that's a bad thing. Because, there's, and I want people to understand that there's a lot of great people that are connected to religion. But, they may, there's some people here that's on their mission, and they may never, it may not be part of their mission to be awakened while they're here. But it is important for people to know that it's there and it's real, and it needs to be presented as an option for someone, because it could help and benefit someone's life greatly if they know the truth. And that's my opinion. And I've been attacked. I can't tell you how many times I've been attacked from beings who are under that religious, facet of attacking people and making sure people are in uniform order of 3D life. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. And things will get better for people who are being attacked right now from religious control.
Yeah, you think these are a mixture of like archons and reptilians that are?
Yeah, well, those are the two big players right there. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ivan, but I believe that there is hidden scriptures that talk about archon, in the religious.
I believe so. Yeah.
And the reptilians are there behind the scenes as well, but not picking on those two races, but you've got Syrian, you've got Lyrian. There's many different negative entities that have come down and say, hey, we want to take a part of this. And it just saddens me. I'm going to go out here in left field for just a couple minutes. There's always a healthy balance in our life in the world where you have good and bad. And one cannot never get rid of the other. But people who are starting to awake and they fight this every day of their life, they need to understand that there is options and you can deal with it. And things, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can get stronger and wiser and stronger with your abilities once you become conscious, and your life can change so much for the better.
Well, even around churches, there's like fallen angels that are, keeping people in their agenda, you could say, holding them in their, reptilians and other beings are involved with it, keeping humans in their agenda energy. And so with you're not involved with their agendas, so you get, attacked by them, basically, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I've been around churches. Like, for example, where I live, I've got a Catholic, I'm not going to pick on any denomination, but there are two churches. There are two churches that are close to me, and both of them, on many occasions, I would ride by, and it's nothing to feel like a suffocating effect when you go by them. Literally, you can feel the energy coming from the building, and it's like a suffocating effect, like, okay, you better start praying the way we want you to pray. If not, then you're going to damnation. You're going to die. And it's one of those attacks. But it's all, it's not what you think. And it's, sorcery that plays a factor in, these negative attacks. Fallen angels have been around this area to come in and, kind of like play with me a little bit. There's been, I remember one time there was a Draco reptilian that brought in a Black Panther from a Sirius planet to come in and play havoc with me. It's been pretty tough, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel because it doesn't last forever. And the thing that I'm starting to understand, and I'm just at the beginning stages of my spiritual awakening, is there's every day that you get up, you're always going to be tested. Some days are better than others, but you get stronger as each day goes by, and you can be able to see so much more as everything is being presented to you, and you know how to live your life in a different aspect and make things better and to help others.
Yeah. And you said during, like, your growing up, you kind of had your awakening in some ways?
Yes and no. I've experienced these energies. See, my strong point is I could feel the different energies that are around me. Some of them are like one big blob. Some of them are kind of like they're hovering around your head, around where your higher self would be, positioned if you're looking at the, the chakra platform, I guess. And then sometimes, they come in multiple levels, and archons are really good about, presenting multiple energy levels around you to, do negative attacks. And, I want to go out just for a minute, and I want to tell people something that, we sit here just for a few minutes and we talk about these negative attacks and how, religious control is hurting people. But we got to understand, too, that people, the entities that are here on this planet, a lot of these negative entities were incarnated to do this type of mission. And a lot of them don't know any different. And it's up to us to help heal them and to help them say, hey, there are options. Don't let others control you or dictate you into doing a bidding for someone else and bringing your soul evolution down. Yeah. And, even if these, you get in front of these negative entities, even though they are presenting dark energy, deep down, their soul is still light. We are all made of light. And if you don't believe me, you can channel Archangel Lucifer, and he'll verify that with you. And, that's, we're here to help. We all have missions. And on top of that, it's kind of like a juggling act. We want to live our life because we are here, because we chose to be here. And it is a mission for most of us. We need to help everybody that we can. And it's important, and especially to help ourselves, because we cannot forget about that. And once we start seeing, the different frequencies that are coming to us, you can call it dimensions. Dimensions are frequencies. And once we be able to, empower our senses, we can see those. Because everything is made of energy. And we are all connected in the big puzzle of life. One way or another, we are all family. But, I'll leave it at that. And would you like to add anything else on it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's very good. Well, also, like in your journey, I mean, I know it's not easy. I think nobody's is, but you feel like you're on a, connected to a higher plane. Of course, they don't make it easy for you to see that. But, what you're doing is of the greater good. And you can say you're kind of exposing this. And so that's another reason why you're here. Not to be a guinea pig, but in some way, I guess we all are. But, I mean, we really want to look at it. A lot
of times you feel like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're lab rats. I mean, what's the feeling you get? I mean, these beings don't always feel like they're in the wrong, right? They feel like they're in the right, probably, right?
Yeah, because they don't. I mean, a lot of them that are negative, that are doing their mission. They could be with me one day, and 2 days later they'll go halfway around the world and do something else. They have to understand, and this is my assumption, from being awakened and being in the beginning stages and what I'm picking up on. Yes, you have yin and yang, and you have the light and the dark. But when you're looking at soul evolution, and when a being is, casting out something in the negative, and they're learning from that, and their soul is, experiencing that, and says, oh, okay, we hurt someone. Well, if you flip the coin, and if you do something in the positive, in my experience, that type of mission and that type of experience, it goes further than doing something in the negative. Now, my good friend Prime Creator, he might like to jump in and he might like to add something to that, but that's what I pick up on. And it just seems like when you do something in the negative, your soul is not evolving as if you were doing something more positive.
Yeah, like in the forgiving area, especially if something negative happens to you and you do a positive instead of reacting in a negative.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's like say a prayer, thank you for attacking me. Something like that.
And don't worry, I want to tell people too, sometimes you can, connect yourself to the universe and, shun out all the negative voices and energies or disturbances and just be at peace. And when you're talking to the universe, I've experienced this, after I've done it and talked to the universe for healing or just advice or downloads, the next day I get attacked. And don't worry, it's not always like that. It's just, things happen for a reason. But, the universe is our friend, and it's always there to give us, the energy that we need.
Well, yeah, it's like people aren't realizing when they have, like, depression or even a headache that there are beings around that's causing it.
Yes.
So,
very true.
I don't know, it feels like physically, what is it that you experience from these beings? If you like, whatever you like to make public, whatever you feel comfortable.
Oh, gosh. There is a young lady, there's a lady that, is part of your spiritual community. She's, active in your webinars, and very talented lady and very nice, very helpful. We had a channeling session one time, and I was getting ready to talk to one of my spirit guides, and it turned out that, the spirit guide that came in, it just kind of like that negative reptilian jumped in the transmission, and it started, just having a conversation, and I wish I could, we had a video where I can, like, draw the picture of how I have a strong picture of how it happened, but it was a negative reptilian. He tried to put a negative implant on me, and it was like having a migraine headache. And it lasted for about 24 hours, and finally it went away with me.
Yeah. I have another question. You say it's coming from your guides about do you get a vision of what these beings look like ever? Ever? Very, very rarely. I know my guides, Ivan, it ranges anywhere from 16 to 20, 24 guides. Because I always have a lot of activity that's going on. We've never had the best relationship. And there's some days that I just I tell them, I said, you know what, you can take your bags and you can go. Because they're frustrated. But it feels like you're fighting a battle all by yourself. Yeah.
But they told me, the one that I've talked to recently, he's an Arcturian, he said, well, we kind of just step back and let you do your thing. And I told him, I said, well, see, my major issue right now with them is how they block certain things. They protect me, and it makes me sad that they get hit very hard, but I think sometimes they block a little bit too much of what I need to have come in that's supposed to be positive, like channeling or healing or positive implants. And I don't know if they help others. They probably do, if I was to guess. Every single one of them is multi-talented. I know recently I just had a new one come in. He was like a Beach Boy Anunnaki guy. I don't know his name, but he recently came in, and he was the stuff, and I think he's doing different things up there. But that stuff is kind of hidden when it comes to my spirit guides. But everything else I can pick up on the energies. But my spirit guides, and you know what's fun is when I have a conversation with one of them, and if I'm getting ready to say something they don't like, and I'm thinking into my mind, they can just stop me even before I'm done with the sentence. Says, no, we're not going to talk about that. And I say, oh, really? Well, I want to finish it anyway because I want to talk about it.
Yes.
So that's how powerful the connection is. They've been around for a very long time, and But it's important, even though we don't have the best relationship, but I told them, I said, it's important that they are happy, that they are happy with themselves, that they are happy with their family and happy doing what they're doing. Because I told them, I said, if you're not happy, I want you to go and be happy. It is important.
That's good. That's good to hear. So let's see here. Where else can we go with this? So yeah, we're not like going after religion. We're just basically we're talking about, the mind control within religion. That's what this is, And what I felt like with these beings that are causing difficulties, they see us as family. It's very kind of a strange family, but the more the numbers, the better, you can say.
Yes. And one little tidbit I want to throw in, Ivan, real quick. When you're dealing, one form of manipulation, they can have the energy come through someone's verbiage. And I want to try to explain this the best I can. Let's say you're listening to I'm not picking on this particular person in the church, for example, but let's say a reverend comes up to you and, he's being serious with you, and he's saying, well, you got to believe this because that's what it says. But that negative being can be in a different frequency in the background, and he could put his energy over and cover it and smother those words. It could be neutral coming from that person talking to you, and it can have that impact when he's speaking the words and it hits you. You could hear the words come out, but at the same time you could feel the energy hitting you. Like it could hit your chakra, or it could hit any part of your chakra system, and that when it's hitting you like that, and you feel that energy, it's manipulation.
I mean, if it's happening here, I mean, the Vatican Church is like the hub of a lot of religions, not all of it. What is your take about the Vatican? Do you feel anything from that? See anything?
Oh gosh, being in the 3D world that we're in, we only see what is being presented to us, and it's being manipulated for us. And there is a lot of hidden stuff.
Yeah, there
is so much, and you go down in those archives that they have, and there's that hidden library that is down there, but they even got sections that is away from that's sort of like another library that has even deeper information than that little hidden library. And I think it's important for people to know that. That's what I feel. And that's, the energies that I feel. And, the stuff that I'm telling you is the energies and the information that's being transmitted to me. And so I don't want to think that, someone out there I might be feeding them a line of bull. I'm not. I'm only trying to relay information that's been given to me. But I feel there's a lot of hidden information out there. It goes deeper than that little hidden library that, people already know about, but there's more archives than just that one library. And, the Pope is kind of like, I think deep down he is a good guy. I've never really focused on him. But I think deep down he is a good person. But he's kind of like our president, not picking on Donald Trump, because I think Mr. Trump is very creative in what he does, but he only has limited say in things that he can do because he is a spokesman just like the Pope. Every president that we've had since George Washington has always been a spokesman because there's always been people behind the scenes that said, hey, you can do this, but you can't do that because nobody needs to know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, like with the Pope, I feel he's just surrounded by, let's say, criminals, something like that? Or however you want to word it.
Are we talking about the Pope?
Yeah, the Pope, yeah. What do you feel about that?
Well, as far as the criminals around the Vatican, I think the best answer I can give you, there is negativity that's hidden. But when you walk there, and if you're not focused in or you're not conscious about what's going on, you won't detect it. You're only going to see something that's like, what you've already been used to seeing, and everything's going to be, like just a normal picture. Nothing's going on. Everything's behind the scenes. But what I sense that there is negativity there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like a control. Well, I'm kind of like tapping into your abilities here, and I want to test you. You can, whatever you feel. Okay. You probably heard of the Black Pope, right? Maybe not. Or have you?
Well, I've heard of someone behind the scenes, but you were the first person that I've come in contact with that calls it the Black Pope. I call it just like a secret informer type person.
That's fine. What is it that you get from the secret informer? If you don't mind.
Well, I'm not going to name him or call him any title or anything.
Yeah, no.
I just think he's part of the big, everybody calls this group the cabal or deep state. I always used to call it when I was, over the years, I called it the government within the government.
Yep.
And these people, they're the ones, it's not just in the United States, it's a worldwide thing. And, remember a couple of weeks ago, you had, you channeled in the so-called, he called himself the president of the Illuminati. He's not the number one guy. Yeah, no, he's just the spokesman.
Well, it's like the shadow president. There's different shadow presidents. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But he's just a spokesman like Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
And he's not the head guy. They have a separate power structure than what we normally would have here in the mainstream society. And that number one guy, I mean, I don't think anybody would ever probably see him in public. And if they do, he'd be so hidden. But I don't think he's going to be the guy. What I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, he is an off-world being.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, just getting your take on all this. That's cool. That's well, what do you think about the shadow government? What is it you feel like? What's your take on it? What is your point of view?
Well, Ivan, I applaud you for reaching out and being, bringing in these deep state beings. And for them to reach out and talk to you, that's interesting. But remember, they're new. And I'm not picking on them. But they're new. So you have to be careful, especially channel, because, you don't want to be attacked or something can turn at any moment. I think they're only going to be limited on what they're telling you, and I think it's interesting that they're coming forward and talking, but as far as them leaving, I think they're going to be around here until it finally opens up very big, and then finally, when everything becomes exposed, then they'll start to dismantle. But for right now, they're here. But it's important to know that stuff is happening behind the scenes. And and you'll find out a lot more when you start to become, spiritual conscious about things in life.
Yeah, the idea of them leaving, you could say it's like the layer of secrecy. It's like a layer of it, you could say, has removed itself slightly, so we can get a better take on what we're dealing with. I guess that's one way of looking at it. They're not out of the rabbit hole, as you
Oh, no, exactly. Sorry. Backing at you. Ivan, I know you've talked to Men in Black before, and those are interesting conversations. I know you've had like little, little. I think a couple times you had like a little head person come up. One time she was female, and another time you brought in somebody else was male. But the head person that's in charge of that, see, they're part of that special power structure. And
what is your take on them? Yeah.
I think the one that's in charge of that Men in Black thing is an off-world being. That's the energy that I'm sensing. But I'm sure, and you know what? If people out there, if they want to, talk to me or send their information, their thoughts or questions to us, feel free, because there's no wrong answer. We're all in this together, and we're all out to try to find the truth. And that's the sense, that's the energy that I'm sensing right now. But it's important that we bring everything up to the front.
Yeah. Well, yeah, some of these off-world beings probably don't even look human, which will, put us in a fantasy world, But they do let us know. They give us hints through movies and fiction. It's just that most of the consciousness here on this world doesn't, that's fiction and da-da-da, But actually, that's the real world talking to us, actually.
Well, someone told me one time that your perception is your reality.
Exactly.
And I've lived by that for a very long time, and it holds true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And just a little quick tidbit, the person that was talking about the channeling, about the negative reptilian coming in, putting in the implant. I've heard her say those words, and she's one of them. And there's many others who are spiritually awakened. They will say the same thing. That it's important. That's a powerful little quick little sentence right there.
Yeah.
But it holds a lot of good, positive, truth and meaning behind it. Everything. There's so much that's manipulated here in our 3D world. Like, for example, sorry, I hate to do that. We'll go out real quick in left field again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your everyday life, you go out, you talk to people, and you hear people curse.
Mm-hmm.
These curse words, just like things were taken out of religion by off-world beings. The language was also manipulated, and a lot of these curse words, the words that have foul meanings, that no matter if you use them in a neutral aspect, they still sound foul because it's got negative energy on them, because they were created by negative beings that came not from this planet. Mm-hmm. And when they come down to create and manipulate and to do different things, that's one thing they had their hands on, and it's almost like they put a, I guess, curse, would that be a good word to use? But they put negative energy on these foul words.
Yeah.
And curse words, you hear them all the time. But, it's like my daughter, sometimes unfortunately she might hear it and she might say a curse word, and I say, hey, try not to say that, honey. It doesn't sound good. And no matter how you use it, it's always, no matter if it's in a neutral aspect, it's still going to sound bad. And let's just try not to use it. And I'm guilty of that too. And, it's important that, people know little things like that. But those little things are big things. And when you live life, one of the things that I could say to people is life is in the details. And that's how you can, wake up every day, and when you start to become aware, spiritually aware and conscious, that, everything's in the details, how you detect how people behave and why do they behave a certain way, and why do I feel funny above my head, or I feel these certain energies that are making my hair all over my body stand straight up. It's because you're experiencing things and you're becoming aware. That's just one little, tidbit. But life is in the details, and that's very powerful right there for people to understand.
Yeah, it's very good. Thank you for sharing that. One thing that comes to mind is about, you said you saw, you see the universe differently, or outside, our source. What is it? You want to share that? Or what we are perceiving is different? Yeah.
Well, when we look up in the stars, and I don't care if people call me crazy, I've been called all kinds of names, But when we look up in the sky and we look up in the stars and we think, wow, it's just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't know that a lot is being hidden from us. We don't see everything that's in our solar system.
Mm-hmm.
It's being hidden. And one good person that can, tell you about this is Prime Creator. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not everybody likes Prime Creator, but he is our God of this universe. And he is a loving God. And he's a wonderful person. And I have a close relationship with him. And he's fun to talk to. He's not always serious all the time. And there's many other beings that you can, contact with, your spirit guides or special off-world beings you have close, contact with. Talk to them, and they will tell you, we don't see everything by the naked eye. A lot of things are being hidden. And so when I look up in the sky and I look at the universe, it's there. Our connections are there. And sometimes, you know that movie called Lucy?
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, well, remember, remember when she becomes, her brain is 100% active, and they show that little segment where she's walking down the street, and she sees all these little energy, beings that are like connected to everybody, and she sees all the binary numbers, and remember I was telling you earlier, everything's made of energy. Well, some nights when I'm really wide open and I'm, in connection with the universe, and I kind of feel like there's a pipeline from the top of my head going out up to the universe, and you can feel different energies within that pipe come to me, and that's how I know that I'm, really have a good connection. That's one example, but that's how I picture the connection, because remember, everything around us is energy. This planet that we live on, it's just bursting with energy everywhere, but we can't see it with our 3D eyes because the frequencies are, we have to be in tune to those certain frequencies in order to see the life just, radiating from everything, from trees to grass, to, rocks to ourselves. It's incredible. But Nikola Tesla was correct when he said that everything is made of energy, and he is right.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, when I think of, space, I don't see it as all black. I mean, purples, blues. I'm not talking about a nebula either, just space in general. I don't see it, black with a bunch of stars around. So, I guess we'll figure it out eventually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Prime Creator.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I apologize. I had a conversation one time with Prime Creator about it, and he told me, he said, there's more planets out here than people can ever imagine. And I asked him one night, I said, how many planets are out here that have life-bearing, life, that is life-bearing, to have, actual beings living on them? He said there are millions in our universe. Millions. And that's just incredible to ponder and think about. Once we, people become conscious and spiritually awakened and know what's going on around us, then they're going to start to feel these things. And, people shouldn't be scared because it's, it's like, when disclosure happens and you get in contact with, Galactic Federation of Light and different beings that are working on the project for that are behind the scenes. Yes, there is not just negative beings behind the scenes that are, working with the powers to be, but there are also positive people, and they're working with the karma court, and they're working with the different energies. See, everything is energy in the air, throughout the universe, throughout space. It's energy everywhere, and and within the energy is timelines, and they have to make sure that all the energy is connected a certain way, where disclosure, when it happens, certain people that are on certain missions, They might be in a certain contract where they're not supposed to see this, and they might freak out and, hurt themselves because of the experience. You want to make sure it's a full entrance. And that's why the energy waves are being shifted and realigned so that at certain point, when it comes to us, I'm not going to use the word time, but when it comes to us, disclosure will happen when everything is in line.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of it is, the Archon grid that's around the Earth, whatever you want to call it, that's keeping us,
nasty grid?
Yeah, it's keeping us.
Oh, God.
It's prison, basically. I mean, you don't have to look at it like a prison, but, that's distorting our point of view. And I'd like to add something here about, I'm going to throw this in and see what you get, too, because I've had coworkers, and, I'm getting dreams about them recently. It's like, what am I dreaming about? I'm starting to think it's like they're just here to put, keep that Archon grid going, you know what I mean? It's like maybe they're not as friendly as they seem. It's like, because I'm not part of it. And so they come in my dreams, and it's like, okay, I'm opening up a dream world, and then I see coworkers there. It's like, geez. It's like, what kind of dream world is this? So.
Well, if I could, I'd like to add something to that about the Archon grid.
Yeah, sure.
There are many, I have a galactic, everyone has their own galactic family. And the beautiful thing is, I don't know how many people will listen to this blogcast, but if you're listening and if you are open-minded, it will be a beautiful thing when you become conscious and you get in contact with your galactic family and people who are, radiate very closely to you because you have close connections. If someone ever tells you that you are alone, that's never true. You're never, ever alone. You've always got people around you. And that is a fact. But talking about the Archon grid, one of the people that are close connected to me is a female Archon, and her name is Ray. And she's a healer, but she loves her race very much. She's proud to be an Archon. And it saddens her that when she sees, Archons doing negative activities, because a lot of them, they're under manipulation. And a lot of them don't understand that, like, hey, are we doing something bad? There are many experiences out there in the world, we're not just talking about Archons, but, other races, they could be neutral and they could be doing something that they don't realize that they're hurting someone while they're doing, investigating or just looking into something. So we have to think about that too, because not everybody, there's no such thing as bad. I know it sounds kind of weird to say, but everything happens for an experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of, and there's a big percentage of that is soul evolution and learning. But we have a choice. We could turn and walk away, or we can help heal, and they could see the difference and make a choice and change their contract and make a different life for themselves.
Yeah, because it feels like, not just us are getting manipulated. Yeah, it's other alien beings that feel like they're doing the right thing. You can say it's one reality after the other, and they don't all see each other. Like we don't see who's manipulating us, and it just goes on and on when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
I know you and I, Ivan, where you're at right now with your abilities is incredible. And, you work with other channelers in the spirit community, and I want to give this shout-out to everyone that I've come in contact with. They are all very special people. And I want a friendly invitation for people first time listening to this, or anybody that wants to, reach out and, get in contact with these people that, help with healing or channeling. And so many people in your webinars, they're wonderful people too, and their experiences are incredible. Everyone, if they could just take the time to get conscious and awaken, there's a beautiful story waiting for you. And it's got, pros and cons in it, but it helps you become a better you. And everyone's story is incredible and special.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just here to figure out the puzzle, basically. There's so many pieces, as you can see. I mean, if you think about it, like, when we do have alien, disclosure, then we have a whole another layer of, difficulties, adjusting to all this, as you could probably feel. So, let's see. So you went to the Pope. What is it? Is there anything you want to go into before we go into another topic? Anything in mind?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, just a little bit. I was thinking about the Christian Bible, and yes, there are many, many good things to come out of the Christian Bible, and for he's my friend Moses. We recently connected with your help. He has a lot to share and a lot to give to people. So anybody that wants to reach out to Moses, now not Archangel Moses. There are two different beings, but Archangel Moses does exist, and he's a different person, different being. But you can reach out to Archangel Moses too. He's an incredible being too. But those two guys are incredible, and they could tell you, the stuff that you won't hear in the Bible, but they experienced, and they went through tough times, and they're very strong people, and their experiences were very beneficial and helpful for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. What is I got a message to ask you. What do you perceive the astral plane or heaven or however you want to word it, the spirit world, put it that way? What is your what is your thoughts of that?
Well, unfortunately, when I go to astral, I am not to remember anything that goes on in astral because I do a lot of fighting, unfortunately. My spirit guides tell me I'm like Rambo when I go up there because I'm trying to sort out. Yeah, and they say it gets crazy for me, and if I was to remember to come back here and wake up and, remember what I did in astral, it would drive me crazy during the day. Because I would be attacked, and that's some of the stuff that my spirit guides do block to try to help me keep halfway insane during my regular day here.
Oh, I've been experimenting with this. Of course, there's different ways you can say like a prayer before you get to bed. One I've been using is like I've been using it with different kind of like break through the block. Like I'm going to break through the block, and I will let my dreams come through. However you want to word that, but basically, the idea is mentally to say, okay, I'm going to dream. I'm going to break through this boulder, whatever it's in. It does seem to help. Some kind of verbiage like that. I don't know. Just make it your own, but you might see yourself break through that. That non-dreaming. I was going to text to read, and I forgot. Then I didn't save it. But the more that you can break through that, just say, okay, I'm just going to do it. And just your intentions alone are probably, help you remember.
Well, that's interesting because, I don't never hardly ever dream.
Yeah,
it's a rarity that I do. But, when I do, it's like deja vu stuff that actually happens. And one time, I had another friend that was a channeler, and she brought in Mother Gaia. This was a true story. After that session, it was a wonderful session. But she visited me in my dream. And Lord and behold, I was like on this beach with my pet dog, and we were in this rental house, and all of a sudden, he starts barking, and I feel the wind pick up, and it's like I look outside, one window, and it's bright and sunny, and I look in on the opposite side of the house, and it looked like this major downpour was going to happen. All of a sudden, the wind picks up, and it was like we were caught in this bad, gigantic storm. So I'm holding on to this, post, and it's like my feet, I'm up in the air and I'm flying, and then it's like this huge storm cloud is just like passing over. It was not actually a storm cloud. It was Mother Gaia. And she was passing through, and she was like her own little cloud of, rain and wind. Mm-hmm. And when my feet went back down on the ground, I went, the house was tore up, but I looked down the beach, and I seen that cloud kept on going. And I said, Mother Gaia. And I woke up, and it's like it had a special, it had a special energy to that experience because it was like I knew it was her because she had her own distinctive energy. And it was just like I felt, like vibrant. I felt happy. And it was like, I'll give you another story. The first time that you channeled Prime Creator for me, I'll never forget it. He came in. He said, I am Prime Creator. And as soon as he said that, he blasted me with source energy. And did you know that blast, it felt like it lasted for over 2 days. And it was an experience. I'll tell you what it felt like. It was like unconditional love.
Yeah.
And it was like something I never experienced in my whole life. It was so beautiful. He said, hey, I'm your friend. You can trust me. And it was an unconditional love feeling. And it was a super big blast. And yes, Prime Creator can do that. But our God works in mysterious ways. And I know there's some people out there that might question why does he do certain things. Well, when he helps someone, it gets very complex. And when you're knowing about what Ivan and myself are talking about, you have to be careful about how you help and how you put things into position to help you because it can affect other people's soul contracts.
Yep. Yeah, it's quite complicated when you look at it from their point of view. It's timelines. It's just everything's connected. I
was very blessed to get that blast from Prime Creator, but it was part of my contract. And not only that, he said the main reason was because, hey, I'm your friend. We were just so super close, and he was so happy to see me become awakened and talk to him, and that's why he gave me the blast. And I was very blessed to receive that.
Yeah, great. Great to hear. Well, it's like, we're here in school, and just like a test, we have to figure it out on our own, and we can ask for help, but we can't be asked to, sometimes you can be taken as a test, as some have. So we're here in, Earth University. They say it's the Harvard of the world, or just, getting the hell beat out of us, but it all has a purpose. It all has a higher purpose, for sure. It's not just for nothing. And people, I am very blessed with the experiences that I've had. One of my main missions here, being here, is being part of the Blue Palladian ground crew. And I had the privilege and the honor to meet one of my close female companions. We're married in Astral. But she actually saved my life one night, literally. I was driving, going down the road, and I started dozing off, and all of a sudden she came in, and it was just like she broke through. I had blockages going on really bad that night, and she came in, and it was like I wasn't hallucinating. It was just like I had an ultra-high definition image of her right there, and it was like you could reach out and just shake her hand and start talking. It's like, hey, where did you come from? And it's like it only lasted for like 10 seconds. And she, she blasted me with positive energy. And she was looking at me, and she kind of shrugged her shoulder and was shaking her head, and then she disappeared. And then it was like a week later, you and I had a channeling session, and we brought her in, and I asked her, I said, why were you shaking your head? And she says, well, you shouldn't be dozing off behind the wheel. You need to get more rest. And I said, oh, you're exactly right. But
But, she was in the area. They have ships that come around, and the people who are part of the ground crew, they do monitor things to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be, and they know everyone's missions. They can detect, who's on what mission and who needs to do what. They have a way of doing that. And they were checking on me, and it was so beautiful to have that experience. And I hope and pray that, maybe, sometime down the road I can have another experience, because I would love to, one of my goals is I would love to have another, contact experience like that and be able to learn from them, and then take that knowledge and share it with someone else that would like to have it.
Yeah, love it. That's great. Yeah, that's a great experience. Everyone, those are in the awakening group have had experiences. Even those that aren't awakened have probably had some kind of experience. So just letting us know that they're there. Okay, we're going to wrap up. Do you have any last words before we call it a night?
Well, Ivan, it's been a very honor and a privilege for you inviting me to your show. And if there's one quick thing, I said this earlier, life is in the details. There's so much that goes on around us that we are unaware of when we, just do the usual things. But if we take a step back and realize that we are never alone, we always have people around us, and we have a beautiful history. Each and every one of us is special. We have a beautiful history waiting for us. And there are wonderful people that are connected to the spirit community, as well as your member webinars. Even the other channelers that are online that are part of the spirit community, I tip my hat off to them, because it is a beautiful thing what they're doing. And everyone that gets involved, I send blessings to all of them, because they're beautiful people too. But the people that are out there and they want to get and tap into this, go for it. Because, it will change your life for the better. And, you can be a difference maker, which everyone already is. But it just, it's a healthy addition to your life, in other words. And, that's all I have to say.
All right. Yeah, thank you for that. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Henry, for being a guest on the show and sharing your knowledge with everyone. All right, have a great night. And blessings to everyone for being part of this. And our next broadcast will be sometime this week, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. So I'll do what I can for the schedule. So, yeah, you can go to ivanteller.com for details on the show. And we'll be back this week. Much love. And have a great night, everyone.